Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 141. I hope everyone is doing okay out there. For us, our family, it's week 4 of self-isolation. So, we're getting used to it. We don't love it, but we're healthy, which is, of course, the most important thing. And just trying to pass the time by taking walks while still practicing social distancing, of course. Just playing board games, ping pong, cooking, drinking a little, adjusting to the new normal, as I hope you are too. As we've covered in previous weeks on Tech It Out, we will be exploring several tech angles to the global pandemic. First up, we'll talk with Nextdoor, a popular online platform that connects neighbors with one another, which has never been more important, as you can imagine. After that, after we talk with Nextdoor, we'll do 2 back-to-back interviews with IBM to hear how they're helping during the COVID-19 crisis. Some really interesting stuff, including a virtual assistant that you can talk to get COVID-19 information in your area and in your desired language. Cool. After that, we're going to talk about a new computer game and with a virtual reality option tied to mindfulness and meditation, which might just be what the doctor ordered with everything going on today to melt away the stressors like worrying about getting sick and losing your job and the stock market crash or feeling cooped up indoors and isolated and all that. This is an escape, a virtual escape that we're going to learn about called SoundSelf, coming out soon. And that's going to be towards the end of the show. All of this and more on today's Tech It Out, which is powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them shortly, but let's kick off the show. As we continue to adjust to the new normal, which may be the case for a while yet, technology is helping us to cope at the very least. And we're now going to learn about Nextdoor, a popular app that focuses on your neighbors, your neighborhood, and how they've pivoted to help those who are self-isolated, which is most of us, it seems. Joining us on the line to chat is Christopher Doyle from Nextdoor. Welcome to the program, Christopher.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
I appreciate your time. How are you holding up amid all this?
We're doing well. We're hanging in there like everyone.
Like everyone else, right? Trying to make the best out of a bad situation. Before we talk about COVID-19 and how you're helping those who are, as I said, self-isolated or practicing social or physical distancing, tell us a bit about Nextdoor, generally speaking, sort of high level.
Yeah, for sure. So Nextdoor is the neighborhood hub online. So what that really means is, even before the coronavirus outbreak hit, we're a place where we wanted to make sure that everyone has a neighborhood that they can rely on, right? So we're all about cultivating and spreading kindness. And so I think at this time of crisis, it's become even more apparent how important it is to take care of each other, first of all, and second of all, also to get to know your local community. And we've seen that happen in record numbers really on Nextdoor, as I think people have, distanced themselves physically, where we've become a virtual way that they can stay connected.
Right. Okay. So before this global pandemic, talk to us about some of the ways Nextdoor had been leveraged by your users.
Sure. Yeah. So, a common use case for Nextdoor prior to COVID-19 would be that, I want a few things, really. One would be, we see a lot of lost pets. So it's a great way to find something in your neighborhood. And in a lot of cases on Nextdoor is like, maybe I've had a lost cat or a dog, and has anyone seen it? Another way would be like trusted recommendations around businesses. So, in my neighborhood, I see a lot, can anyone recommend a plumber, or can anyone recommend a painter that they've had a good experience with? So it's like really a high trust environment at that point, because it's like, I actually believe, my neighbor in my own neighborhood has used this person. They've had a great experience. I'm going to give them a call. It's also a lot about just like local connections. So, local businesses play a big role on Nextdoor. So, we really want to support local businesses and they want to interact with their community. It's also a place to talk about safety issues in the neighborhood and what's happening in the neighborhood. So it's a real hyper local news platform in that sense, where I'm really finding out what's happening in the neighborhood. So those are all like typical use cases before the the COVID crisis hit.
I have some friends who use Nextdoor for buying and selling items. They find that it's a little bit more trusted if it's like within a few blocks of where they live rather than going on eBay or Kijiji or Craigslist or what have you.
Absolutely. Yes. We have the for sale and free section. I'm glad you mentioned that. So my wife actually in our neighborhood, she's been using it quite a bit. We've got 4 children, so she uses it for clothes and stuff. And she made that same comment. She's like, it is so local that I can just walk to someone's place to pick up the item or to exchange an item. So that's great. It's hyper local, right? And it's all about trust as well. We make sure that when you join Nextdoor, we ask for the first line of your address and your postal code, and then we're connecting you to your neighborhood. So it's a very trusted environment in that sense. And I think for sale and free, that makes a really big difference.
Can you clarify if Nextdoor is a website, if it's an app, as I called it in the introduction? I know it's a platform, but how do your users interact with each other through Nextdoor?
Yeah, it's a great question. It is, as you say, a platform. And I think the app is the primary way that people experience Nextdoor, but they can also go to the website. So there is the 2 experiences for sure. Download the Nextdoor app on the App Store, or so you could search for Nextdoor or go to our website for sure to access it. And actually, I've noticed, just myself, I've been using it more on the desktop version since we've been at home for such a bit now. But I'm sure, people use it both ways, of course. Like mobile phones are so ubiquitous now. So the app is also a great way to use Nextdoor. Yeah.
We're chatting with Christopher Doyle from Nextdoor. I understand that last week you put out a press release that elaborated on what Nextdoor has seen since COVID, particularly around growth and a new feature that you launched called Help Map. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in markets around the world, we've seen an increase in neighbors offering help on our platform. And in some markets, this has been as high as 17 times increase in people offering help to their neighbors on Nextdoor. So really, what we did really quickly was respond to the needs of our members in these local neighborhoods. And one of the things that we saw was there was a lot of people offering help, but the most vulnerable around us might not always feel comfortable posting that they needed help, right? So this might be something like, I'm willing to go and pick up groceries for you if you've been traveling. It could also be some of the more vulnerable in our society, like the elderly folks who might need a hand, but maybe they're not comfortable posting that. So what the Help Map does is quite amazing. It actually allows you to let your neighbors know around you what help you're willing to give. So then someone who's looking for help and seeking that help, they can actually go and look at a map and see near them who's offering what types of help. And like I said, this might be, I'm willing to go and run some errands for you. I'm willing to go pick up some essential groceries if you don't feel comfortable going out right now. I might be willing to offer to walk your dog is another one that we've seen. I might be willing to go out and pick up some urgent medications. And so all these types of things are happening. And so that's really what the Help Map was designed to do, is to make sure that we can take care of those around us.
I understand you've seen a huge spike in usage in Nextdoor since March. Is that fair?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So actually in March, when we took a look at the numbers, our strong engagement has grown. So actually global daily active members increased by more than 80% over the previous month. And we found that neighbors were, during this crisis, going to Nextdoor to make sure that they were offering help to their neighbors as one, probably the primary use case. They were also offering help. They were also seeking help. And then they were also there to get trusted local relevant information from public service agencies who we work with on Nextdoor. So a good example would be the Red Cross. And they go there and they know that they can get trusted information. And it's also about local, hyper-local information during a time of great need, really.
Yeah, I know that thousands of local public services around the world already use Nextdoor to share critical information with neighbors on a daily basis, in fact, and then also when disasters strike as well. It's your free public services platform. With this Help Map, it's interactive from what I understand. So could you explain what that means exactly?
Yes, it definitely is. So if you're seeking help and you go to your Help Map on Nextdoor, you'll be able to see on the map those that are offering help. And you can actually click or tap on that location where it shows that they're offering help. And it'll say, for an example, I'm willing to go and pick up groceries for anyone in need. And then you can actually right from there message that person. So again, this goes back to this idea that maybe I don't feel comfortable posting to my entire neighborhood that I'm really not feeling well and I don't want to go out and get groceries. So you can message this person and let them know that you're looking for help. And then that we're actually connecting people that way, right? So it's actually based on your proximity in the neighborhood, and then it's based on the needs in the community and those that are offering help to those who might need it. So a really great way to stay connected.
Okay, again, that's called the Help Map, and people can learn more about Nextdoor at nextdoor.com, which is now available in 11 countries and in more than 260,000 neighborhoods worldwide. Congratulations on your success, and thank you for the work you're doing around COVID-19. Your platform is needed, obviously, more than ever before, so thank you for your services. Christopher Doyle, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for having us on to talk about it, Mark.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. When we return after this short break, we're going to catch up with IBM. We're first going to learn about their weather channel, which is part of the IBM family, and what they're doing to help during the COVID-19 crisis, followed by another talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and something in the Watson division that you're going to want to hear about. Really interesting stuff that IBM is doing. I mean, I'd expect nothing less from the company. They've always got some innovation that they're cooking up despite their size. They've got some really neat things tied to COVID-19. All right, this show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS, as you likely know, creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. That also includes, by the way, ROG, or Republic of Gamers gear, which is their award-winning computers and accessories for serious computer gamers. You know who you are. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. As COVID-19 continues to spread around the world and, of course, throughout the country, IBM is offering free tools to help consumers track the reported cases of coronavirus in their local communities. Available at weather.com/coronavirus, as well as the Weather Channel app for iOS and Android. The Weather Company and IBM Business recently launched a new and interactive incidents map, as it's called. And joining us on the line to tell us all about it is Sherry Backstein, who leads the consumer division for the Weather Company. Welcome to the show, Sherry. Hope you're doing okay.
Hi, Mark. Yes, doing just fine.
Great. Good to hear. And thank you for carving out some time to chat with us today. Why don't we dive right in? Please tell us about this new feature the Weather Company introduced to help us track the coronavirus.
Yeah, so, as the Weather Channel, we've been helping people stay informed around severe weather and crisis for about 30 years. So as we looked at this particular crisis, we thought, well, we are positioned to provide local data down to the county level to people, and pivoted to start sourcing COVID data as it relates to the spread of the virus. And so working with about 100 people within our organization, we've been able to source all of this information at a county level and provide that into our apps and onto our website so people can look at what's happening in their communities, the communities around them, and even in the communities, where their friends and family may be living.
Okay. I'm going to ask you in a moment how you're collecting the data. I'm intrigued. But can you tell us a bit more about this incidence map? What does it show exactly?
Yeah, so if you went into the COVID-19 experience, there's a couple of ways you can look at this data. There's the incidence map, as you've mentioned. It's an interactive map, so think about interactive weather map, but it shows you your county. You can click on that. You can get information as to how many confirmed cases are in your county, how many deaths are in your county. Then you can see your surrounding counties by clicking on that. You can zoom out, look at the state level, or you can zoom out even further to look at the national level. It's color-coded, so it's really easy to use. The bright red indicates areas where there's really high number of cases, lighter red where cases are lower. And so that's one aspect of it. There's also a trending chart, which is really important. It looks at the trends every single day for your county or for your state, so you can see if those cases are increasing, are we starting to see a plateau in some areas, and then hopefully in the near future we'll start seeing those trends go down.
I hope so. Thank you. So you can access this on a website, whether it's on a laptop, desktop, or mobile device. And that's again at weather.com/coronavirus, as well as the app, which is a free download for both Apple and iPad, as well as Android devices, right? Simply the Weather Channel.
Yep, it's just in the Weather Channel app, either within the app or the website. There, you'll see a red button that says COVID. It'll take you right into the hub, and if you've shared your location with us, we'll take you right down to your county level information.
Okay, great. We're chatting with Sherry Backstein. She leads the consumer division for the Weather Company and IBM business. Where is the data coming from exactly?
So all of the data we're sourcing from trusted sites, so state government, county governments, the CDC, World Health Organization. So that is where that data is coming from. And it's, really been an amazing effort to aggregate all of this data. It's really hard to do, and we've had a big team of people pulling all this data together because it's very fragmented. Every county site has information in a different format. They update at different times, so there's nothing uniformed about it. But using IBM and our Watson AI technology, we're able to look at all of this data and pull out the pieces that are relevant to put onto our applications. And in this case, we're looking at confirmed cases, we're looking at deaths. We're going to be pulling in soon recoveries, hopefully, as those become more prevalent. But there's just a lot of information out there that we're able to gather and to use.
No doubt. Yeah, I've seen some other apps and websites that have tried to offer this, real-time tool to assessing what the COVID-19 situation is like in your area, but it's only as good as those who are willing to input the data. There's a few issues there, but with a company like IBM, with all these strategic partners, I would trust that you're getting the most accurate and up-to-date information. And also, these are confirmed cases. Testing has been fragmented at best across the country. Those who have maybe already had coronavirus, they've already gotten over it. So I know it's not a perfect solution, but it sounds like it's the best thing we've got. And what are you hoping people are going to discern from this information?
So I think it's just, in these uncertain times, it's just really important that people just have a trusted source where they can go find information. So we're pulling in this data from a county, state government level, and, we're also providing the latest news on it as well. And so really it comes down to helping people make the decisions that are right from their family. And to do that, you have to provide them with a level of information in a really simple and easy way.
And again, leveraging the power of Watson, the IBM artificial intelligence. Sherry, thank you so much for your time. So to get more information, it's simply weather.com/coronavirus.
Yep, you can go on to weather.com/coronavirus, or if you just go to weather.com or download the Weather Channel app, you'll see in the navigation a red button that says COVID-19, and you can click on that and find all the information updated constantly throughout the day, and we'll be adding more information as it becomes available.
Terrific. And just as we wrap up, Sherry, congratulations on winning several media awards, including an Emmy Award for breaking news coverage of the Atlanta Centennial Park bombing and an Associated Press Award for sports reporting. Congratulations. Continued success.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. Take care of yourself and stay healthy.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out on the Radio America Network.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been an unprecedented flood of requests from citizens around the globe looking for answers from hospitals and local officials and others. In fact, wait times in many areas to receive responses can exceed over 2 hours. To support communities, IBM is offering a Watson-based virtual agent dubbed Watson Assistant for Citizens. It's offered to government agencies and healthcare and academic institutions free of charge for at least 90 days so they can provide people with answers to their questions about COVID-19. Joining us on the line to tell us more is Toby Capello, Vice President of Industry Architecture and Client Success within IBM's data and AI business. Welcome, Toby, and thank you for your time.
Thank you a lot, Mark. Appreciate to be here.
All right. That's quite a title you've got there, Toby. Does that fit on a business card?
Barely. And it sometimes wraps around the other side.
Yeah, I was going to say front and back. All kidding aside, this is real. This is a great announcement. Let's just start from the top. What is Watson Assistant for Citizens?
Watson Assistant for Citizens is a virtual agent that we are providing to government agencies, healthcare and educational institutions for answering questions about COVID-19. When I say that, some people may call it a chatbot versus a virtual agent. What you have is you have a computer answering questions about a variety of topics. It may begin with specific, or it may begin with general questions that we're sourcing answers from sources like the CDC, like what is COVID-19, what are the symptoms, how do I prevent it, what is social distancing, those kinds of things. But it also then may go very specific into what that municipality, that hospital, that institution has, such as, are my schools open? Where do I get tested? What's happened in my area? How many cases do I have? And it may even go more specific than that. And what it allows these organizations to do, as you said in the very beginning, Mark, is both to their phone lines as well as to their websites, they're receiving an increased number of calls and inquiries they're overloading them. It's causing busy signals. It's causing frustration. And a large percentage of these, up to 80% of these requests, are just for general information. And so we're allowing these organizations, free for 90 days, to use Watson Assistant for Citizens to alleviate that load, but to do it in a very accurate and very efficient way, either via voice or via website, text, and digitally.
All right. Yeah, I was going to ask you how people interface with this technology. So it can be through voice. So do you hear like an Alexa or a Siri kind of a female voice answer back?
So you're going to hear a variety of voices. With our Watson voice interaction, you can choose a male, a female voice. You can choose it to be different dialects and interact a number of different ways. A lot of folks want to make sure it represents a little bit more of their constituents, their personality and their approach, what people like to hear. And so we have a number of them for you to choose from. And what you do is you basically go on there and you ask a question, and in response you get either an answer to that question via that voice, or that voice will ask you a clarifying question to get to the specific answer that you need in a very efficient way.
All right. So to help alleviate the congestion on phone lines and in text chats, this is artificial intelligence that is answering questions, be they generic ones like what is COVID-19 and what are the symptoms and what social distancing, down to ones that are specific to that exact municipality. So it could be like, where can I go for a test near me or something like that. So I get that. And it could be done over text or it could be done over voice. So who is using this virtual agent right now? Like what countries or even cities are using it around the globe? Is it specific to the West, for example?
Oh, it's not specific to anywhere. It's a global, we're getting global adoption, global inquiries, and we're standing up at a number of organizations globally. So here in North America, we're working at just about every state in the United States. We're working at a couple of countries in South America. So to give you a real specific example, we're working in the city of Lancaster in Los Angeles County. They stood up in a matter of a day or so the Watson Assistant for Citizens. It was able to answer general questions about COVID-19. And then over time, as it learns and as they allow it to grow in its answer base, they're asking more specific questions about the county itself and what information that constituents would want to know and understand to help them going forward. It's in New York, it's in Atlanta. As you go globally, we're in Europe, in the Czech Republic, in Greece, and Poland. As I said, we're in Colombia and South America, Australia. I can think you mentioned the countries, but we're literally every day we're adding a different state or country because, as you can guess, this problem is worldwide and real.
Of course, no doubt. And who would you say most benefits from this?
The good news is both the institutions and the organizations and the citizens themselves benefit greatly. The institutions and organizations benefit because what we just spoke about, they're getting overloaded. And the last thing they want to do is provide no information or delays or frustration to their constituents. So they're able to get to a very specific answer, a very accurate answer very quickly, and then on a daily basis update that so it's bringing the answers that they need to bring. So, for example, when the guidance from the CDC changed from don't wear a mask to wear a mask, that gets updated immediately. The right answer goes through, and they continue forward with the questions and answers. On the other side of it, the citizens benefit because the ones we talked about, they're not on phone lines for a long period of time. I know I get frustrated when I'm waiting on a phone line. They're not having to search a website. I know I get frustrated when I don't find the answer I want to on a website. So what they do is they get to ask a natural language question and get back a natural language answer. And why is that important? That's important because you and I speak in many different ways. And so what Watson Assistant for Citizen can do is it can understand. So, for example, if you want to ask about a school, is my school open? Or when will it be open? So a number of ways you could ask it is my school open? When will it be open again? When do you think it will be open again? I want to go back to school. I miss school. All of these things could have the same meaning. And now with natural language and artificial intelligence, Watson can understand all of those to give the response that says, here's when the schools are open again, or they're closed for now. We don't know when. We'll have a new update on such and such date. That makes it really, really easy and efficient and accurate for those citizens so they can get to that answer very quickly.
Right. And I was going to say accurate also because there's a lot of misinformation out there tied to coronavirus. So another benefit would be that this is vetted, accurate information.
That's exactly right.
Finally, Toby, where can listeners go for more info on this?
For more info, you can go directly to our website, www.ibm.com/cloud/Watson-assistant, and you'll get everything you need there.
All right. Hopefully that's not on the same business card as your title. Just kidding. IBM.com/cloud/Watson-assistant to learn more. Toby Capello, thank you so much for your time. Be healthy. Thanks again.
You too, Mark. Thank you.
When we return, we're going to learn about a new video game and virtual reality experience called SoundSelf.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info on all of their gear, including their award-winning laptops and desktops. That's asus.com/US/radio. And speaking of computers, during these unprecedented times, many of us are looking for a healthy escape, a way to cope with self-isolation and social and physical distancing and so on. And so now we're going to learn about an upcoming experience that's quite unique, fusing sound and color to create a psychedelic world. It's called SoundSelf. Joining us on the line to tell us all about it is Robin Arnott. He's the CEO of Andromeda Entertainment and lead designer on SoundSelf. Welcome to the program, Robin. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Pleasure to be here.
How you holding up?
You know, I'm holding up great. I live in a cabin in the woods, and so it's about as good a place as anywhere to be in quarantine.
I think that sounds about right. You're outside of Austin, right?
I am just outside of Austin. I just got some chickens for the chicken coop.
Wow.
And I've been adapting really well.
It sounds like an interesting disconnect with all the tech work that you're doing, but we'll get to that in a moment. Before we talk about SoundSelf, tell us a bit about Andromeda Entertainment.
Yeah, sure. So Andromeda Entertainment is a publishing company for video games that are all about bringing you into deeper connection with your body, with your soul. You know, for the history of video games, I think we've been using game technology as an escape, games in order to bring you into a fantasy world. But games are an incredibly trance-inducing, hypnotic medium, and we can just as effectively use that medium to bring you into deeper connection with yourself. And those games are all the more powerful because they do so. So our first game is a dancing game. It really brings you into your body like nothing else I've played. And our second game, SoundSelf, is a meditation experience. And you think, meditation experience, you might think, oh, that sounds kind of boring. It is not boring. It is a real journey into altered states of consciousness.
I think you call it a technodelic experience, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The full name is SoundSelf, a technodelic.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I've been watching some videos online and it's certainly intriguing. Tell us about it. And I think the timing, by the way, couldn't be any better given, as I mentioned in the introduction, what we're going through. And we could use something that's related to meditation or mindfulness or just a virtual escape right now.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a real pattern interrupt for people. People are having to look really closely at their habits and see like, okay, what do I want to let go of? What do I want to practice? What do I want to integrate? And I think a lot of people are aware of the benefits of meditation and the benefits of having those states of stillness, but don't really know how to get there. And I think you're right. It couldn't be better timing I'll tell you, it's a real honor and it's a real blessing to have something I can offer people to give them access to these states without needing to, sit in discipline and quiet in practice of meditation.
So tell us about SoundSelf. I mean, this is radio, so maybe you can describe what you see and do in this game or experience.
Sure. So you start at the bottom of a tree and you are invited to begin toning with your voice. So this game doesn't use a keyboard or a mouse or a joystick as an input. It uses the microphone on your webcam or an external microphone if you have one. And it just invites you to begin toning like this. Oh, long tones like that. It guides you in your breathing. And as it does that, the whole world starts to respond to you in this kind of trippy, abstract way that you can't quite wrap your mind around. And what we find is you do this for 5 minutes, and then you are just lost. People lose a sense of being the person that is vocalizing into the game and begin to get the sense of following their voice into something mysterious and surprising. After 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you're deep in a meditative trance. And after 30 minutes, it pulls you out to integrate.
All right. Let's talk about that integration. So it is a game, right? I mean, usually
I think of it as a game.
Yeah, because games typically have like a goal or some sort of interaction with that world, whether it's the environment or the virtual characters. Often there's a storyline or puzzles to solve or rewards for accomplishing, let's say, a level. So how is it a game exactly rather than a digital experience?
Well, I'll put you into my head as a game designer. The reason we use tools like goals and puzzles and things like that is because we need something to structure. Firstly, something to capture a player's attention, and secondly, something to structure it by. Now, having extrinsic goals and having some, we call it an extrinsic motivator, that's a really great way to structure a person's attention in a specific way and to capture their attention so they're really there. Now, that's not the only way for an interactive experience to capture a person's attention. By drawing game design inspiration from hypnosis and meditation techniques, and that allows us to make a really compelling, tightly interactive experience that doesn't need goals to capture attention, but can actually use simple things like the habits of how you look around and the way you relate to your voice, and use all of that to capture your attention and draw you into a state of presence. So you ask, is it a game? I think a game purist would say, no, it's not a game, it's an experience. But I'm a game designer. I think in incredibly sophisticated game design loops. To me, this is absolutely a game. It's just a different take on how game design can capture your attention and use your attention.
And what platform is this playable on?
It's on PC, Mac, and we support PC VR as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about virtual reality. So this is optional, but I would think that it would enhance the experience quite a bit. In fact, when we return, I'll have you answer that. I'd like to know the difference between the VR version and the regular computer version. You're listening to Tech It Out. When we return, more with SoundSelf. Don't touch that dial.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Robin Arnott from Andromeda Entertainment about SoundSelf. This is a new PC and VR experience. Before the break, I was asking you about the difference between the two.
We've been designing SoundSelf to support VR since back in the days. I don't know if your audience remembers this, but back in the days, the early days of the Oculus Rift Kickstarter. So I got 3 Oculus Rift DK1s, which now you look at those and they're clumsy machines and they don't support pure, positional tracking or anything. But at the time, it was totally magic. And we were going to all the different festivals and conferences and showing the very first drafts of this transformative experience, which has become SoundSelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen videos online as far back as, I think, 2016 of SoundSelf. Yeah, and I've seen you on stage as well, by the way, talking to a mesmerized audience about what you were building.
Yeah, I like to use the same hypnosis techniques we use in the game when I'm giving talks.
That's awesome.
But really, it's a way, because SoundSelf it's an ineffable experience. So words don't describe it, and so the only way to really give people a taste of it is experientially, which is why I like to use some of those same techniques when I give talks. So back to your VR question, here's what I love about virtual reality is it cuts out all distraction. So SoundSelf is a nuanced experience. If you're playing it on a screen, you got to put on headphones and turn off the lights. Virtual reality basically does all of that for you. You're wearing the whole world around you has been turned off once you put that thing on. So it's just a great way to I guess take over a player's whole sensorium, which if you're on PC, you can do that yourself if you just put a little mindfulness into it. If you turn off the lights, if you wear headphones, if you sit comfortably. But virtual reality just makes that a little easier.
Mm-hmm. Got it. When I heard about SoundSelf, Robin, I immediately thought of a game that, I don't know if it's before your time, I may be dating myself here, but it was a Deepak Chopra experience for the PC called The Journey.
I already know. Journey to the Wild Divine.
That's exactly it. I wrote about it many moons ago for several publications like USA Today and AARP and CNN.com because I thought it had mainstream appeal to take what was typically like at that time, I guess, video games were a little bit more of a shallow, let's say, experience, very twitchy. And here was this attempt to bring something that a little bit more tied to meditation and mindfulness.
I love Journey to the Wild Divine. I mean, I say that. I love the idea of it. I haven't played it. I've played some of other Deepak Chopra's other stuff. But there are whole civilizations that are built around the practice of bringing the attention inward and diving into an inward journey, right? I mean, this is what a video game does. It brings you on a journey. So there are huge cultures that have traditions built around bringing you on an inward journey. And I think people who've been exposed to this and who have been exposed to modern technology, there is just such an intuitive overlap between those two. So yeah, people have been trying to combine these for decades now. It's just that as the technology's gotten better, and especially as we look at the dawn of virtual reality and the integration of inexpensive biosensors into headsets and gamepads and so on, the ability to bring the whole body into virtual experiences and to integrate some more of the wisdom from these mindful practices to create even more powerful transformative experiences is becoming more and more potent. So I think like Journey to the Wild Divine was it was so fresh and so new. And we've seen a few attempts at things like that over the years, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that in the next 5 to 10 years.
Where could we learn more about SoundSelf? And you said it's going to be out, mid-April?
SoundSelf's coming out on April 22nd, and you can learn more at soundself.com. And if you use Steam, you can go to our SoundSelf Coming Soon page on Steam and wishlist it there.
Okay. And can you clarify again on what VR is supported? So if you have Oculus Quest, will that work? Or do you need Oculus Rift or HTC Vive or something like that?
SoundSelf supports but does not require PC VR, so that means it'll work with your Vive, with your Oculus Rift and Rift S, and it'll work with your Oculus Quest via Quest Link cable. But again, it works great just on a 2D screen. It's going to be $29.95 coming out on April 22nd, and you can learn more at www.soundself.com. Or if you use Steam, you could go to the SoundSelf Coming Soon page on Steam and wishlist it there.
All right. I'm on the SoundSelf website right now, and it's also psychedelic, just the website itself. So
check out. I really want to encourage your audience to check out the trailer. It's unique.
Thank you very much for your time, Robin. I wish you success on this, especially as we really could use this kind of tool right now to help us get through this crisis. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
And thank you to the listeners for tuning into Tech It Out each and every week. You can always reach out if you've got suggestions for upcoming topics or guests, or if you've got any questions or comments at tech@marksaltzman.com, tech@marksaltzman.com. Thank you to my title sponsor, ASUS, for your support. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. asus.com/US/radio has more. Have a safe and healthy week ahead, everyone. Happy Easter, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on Tech It Out.